Well, hallelujah, 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 DC fans. Welcome back to the channel. I am D-WIZZLE, and the time has come. The moment most of you have been waiting for. We are finally going to talk about the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's here. I'm ready to talk about it. I got a bunch of people here ready to talk about it. So, if you guys enjoy this video, please hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to be notified on future videos I'll be doing. I'm excited to talk about this shit. Are y'all excited to talk about this shit? Because I am.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Thought this day would never come. We're here. Oh, so it's gonna be such a jam-packed podcast for sure, talking about this movie. Probably so big I might not be able to contain it for one podcast, so I might have to do more than one part because there's so much to unpack, and I have so many people that want to talk about this movie with me. I can't just put it all in one video, so I might have to do this in more than one part. So I'm going to consider this Part 1 of our spoiler-filled discussion of Zack Snyder's Justice League, the Snyder Cut. So if you guys have not watched Zack Snyder's Justice League, I really implore you guys to watch this before listening to this, because we're going to go into every little detail, or most of the details going on in this movie. So if you don't want to be spoiled, watch it first, come back and watch this. I'm just excited to talk about this. Let me introduce you to my panel here. First of all, we have Evan.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Second of all, we have Cree.
Holy shit! I'm so excited. Let's go.
And third of all, I have my girlfriend, aka the lowest to my Clark. I have Shay.
Let's talk about that sesame seed close up.
Oh boy, yeah, we will definitely be talking about that. We will definitely be talking about that. All the goodness and all the weird stuff and all the things in between about this movie. Oh, so to give some context for people that don't know. So the 10% that don't know. So we've been following this DC journey for a long time now. I covered every DC movie up until this point. If you guys want to check out my thoughts on the previous DC films, I have a link in the description to my playlist called DC Films, or DC, whatever it's called, and you guys can check out our reviews on the previous movies. But I've been really enjoying the DC films. I know that's not a popular thing to say, but I enjoy them. I love Man of Steel. It's one of my favorite superhero movies. And it's probably one of my favorite movies in the DCEU. I liked Batman v Superman, not as much as Man of Steel. I enjoyed it. It has some weird stuff in it. It was overbloated, but you know what? I believed in the vision. I liked what Zack Snyder was doing with Batman v Superman, especially the Ultimate Edition. That's what should have been out in theaters in the first place. They shouldn't have chopped it up to 2.5 hours, because stuff made sense in the 3-hour cut, and we would have been in a better situation if that was the first thing that came out.
Are you saying that they should have just followed Zack Snyder's vision from the beginning?
Oh,
that sounds familiar.
What a concept! And then we have the other movies like Suicide Squad. I wasn't a big fan of that, but also suffered from Warner Brothers meddling with a whole bunch of editing and stuff like that. Wonder Woman, really enjoyed. Really like that.
Best one.
I mean, she that's her favorite. But and then we get to a certain movie that was released in 2017, which it is called Justice League, but only in name. We dub it Justice League. Yeah, so
Justice League.
Yeah, gosh, darn it. So yeah, so as most of you know, Zack had to leave the Justice League project because the passing away of her daughter Autumn, and so they weren't able to finish the whole movie, But then Warner Brothers decided, you know what? While he's gone, they get Joss Whedon, who was director of the Avengers films and stuff like that, getting him to cut down the movie and restructure scenes to turn into a completely different film that's more crowd pleasing and colorful and funny and all that stuff. And cringy, especially cringy.
Crowd pleasing.
Oh my,
funny.
Oh my gosh! And then we got this abomination of a 2-hour film, this Frankenstein thing that shouldn't have never came out and was a failed experiment on their part because it underperformed at the box office and it got a 43% on Rotten Tomatoes, so that was failed from the beginning, and you alienated all the Snyder fans up until this point. And so everyone has been clamoring that there was a different cut of this movie that Snyder initially wanted to have out. And so there was a whole hashtag. You've seen it all on the internet, release the Snyder Cut. And that's been going on for the past 3 years. And of course we got ridiculed and, people telling, 4 years now? I mean, it's not like the 4th year yet, but, I mean, we'll just say 4 years because it's 2021. Yeah, too long. Either way. And then you get, like I said, a whole bunch of people saying that the cut doesn't exist, from critics to other people from the studio and executives saying that the cut doesn't exist, or there's no way it's going to be released because it needs a whole bunch of money to be, to be fully complete. But, just people saying that it's never going to happen. What we got is what we have to deal with, and nonsense. So then there was a pandemic that happened, and
there was a pandemic?
Oh yeah,
What?
in case you guys didn't realize, there was a pandemic that happened, and
There was a pandemic.
still is
Yeah,
a pandemic. Oh, still is.
it's-
I'm trying to think of the future because we're gonna.
When this isn't happening
when this
anymore.
pandemic won't happen anymore. But
Get a new one.
yeah. So they put a lot of things on halt. Sorry, what'd you say?
So we'll get a new one.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so it put a lot of DC projects and other films on hold. But then there's another thing called HBO Max that, Warner Brothers and AT&T, who owns Warner Media and Warner Brothers, is trying to push. And so that gave them the perfect opportunity to be like, you know what, Zack? We're gonna let you complete your film. And that's in the beginning of 2020 when Zack Snyder officially announced that the Snyder Cut was going to be released. And I was a kid on Christmas morning. Oh my god, so excited. So this Snyder Cut that he had was there was an assembly cut that was 5 hours long, which though he cut it down to 4 hours, and he also wanted to do additional photography for one scene that they added in the film when it ended up being in the final cut of the movie, and they needed about $70 million to complete it. So yeah, because the cut wasn't finished, and I don't want to get into this fight of the cut always existed and it was ready to go and it was all finished. There was no way. There was no way because he left early. There was no way he could have completed the entire cut. But we're not getting into this argument here.
Well, when they realized that they weren't going to use those scenes, they weren't going to spend the money to finish the effects on those scenes that weren't going to be used.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they had to spend the money to finish the effects.
Right. And the good thing, AT&T was like, yeah, for sure, we're gonna give you this money, because I guess they saw what Zack had and was like, you know what, we got something really good here, so they can give us a lot of subscribers on HBO Max. So hey, let's go. So of course I'm really, really excited, and of course you have all the speculation of, is it going to be the exact same movie but added scenes, which there was no way that could be the case, or is it going to be any improvement from the theatrical? Is this going to set a bad precedence in Hollywood for people that want to restructure their movies and have a bunch of other director's cuts and whatever? This whole ordeal. But I didn't listen to all that because we're actually going to get it, and that's all I cared about. I just finally wanted to get to see this movie. The marketing for this film was great. I liked all the trailers. It looked completely different from the theatrical. There's a bunch of scenes that wasn't in that 2017 version. I'm just like, from the trailers alone, I'm like, are these guys insane? How did they cut all this stuff out? So yeah, just to see it. Seeing Superman in the black suit, Darkseid in the movie, Steppenwolf having a different design, more development with Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman, the whole 9 rounds. So, whatever, I'm too excited, I'm not thinking logically right now. So,
Whoever at Warner Brothers thought that Joss Whedon's version was going to be better, I hope you're fired.
Yeah, it's like, what were
Because
they thinking?
you do not belong in the movie industry.
no,
So if you're not fired, get out, because this got to be so embarrassing for you right now.
yeah. It's like, no wonder they're like not saying much in the, about, it's a big success on HBO Max, It's like they're quick to announce a Wonder Woman 3 after Wonder Woman 84 was like, But this one they want to keep quiet. But they know it's already a hit. It's already a success.
Oh, yeah.
It's already blown up in their faces. But enough of the shenanigans. Let's get into our thoughts. I'm going to start with you, Evan. What was your overall thoughts on the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League? The whole 4-hour shenanigan.
Overall, this movie is not even the same movie as the 2017 Justice League. It is 1,000 times better. It is better in every single way. And that really is not an exaggeration. Every single aspect, every single component to this movie outshines the theatrical version. And it is just so insane that there were executives out there that actually thought that they were improving this movie by cutting it down, getting rid of this original material, and putting in this new garbage material with these jokes that didn't work. It's just... I'm so glad we have this version to see the true version.
Yes. Great. Tell us your thoughts on Zack Snyder's Justice League.
It was amazing. I literally fell off the couch a couple times because I got so excited.
There's a lot of yelling.
There was a lot of yelling. Dwayne and I.
Oh yeah, I was yelling too, and
Yeah, there was
tears.
Yeah. Like when I saw Martian Manhunter, I fell off the couch. This is, I mean, to go off of what Evan said, this is by far like just 100 times better than Justice League. I mean, it's a completely different movie. I don't know how to form words because it's just so good. As a comic book fan, this is what I wanted for so long. Like from the beginning of the DC movies, you know, this is what I've wanted. It's exactly what all of the true comic book fans have wanted. And if you didn't think that the Snyder Cut existed, we were right, Dwayne.
We were right, and y'all were wrong.
And looking
Y'all
at,
can suck it, man.
Absolutely.
looking in a general franchise standpoint,
I thought
this
I
this works as a great third part of a trilogy with Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition. Like this really is the third part of a trilogy, and they flow together very well.
Absolutely.
100%. I mean, seriously, I don't know how I'm going to do this podcast. Because I can't form words. It's just that good. It's so good. I mean, there were a couple of things where I was like, meh, that could have been a little bit better, like design-wise or whatever. The lighting was a little meh. But, those are such basic little, minor things. The story was amazing. Cyborg was angsty and dark,
So
like I wanted
angsty.
him to be.
Yes.
He's supposed
Ultimate
to be.
angst.
Ultimate angst. And Superman in the black suit, I almost started crying. That was so fucking cool. So cool. And I'm very excited to watch it like 15 more times.
And there was no CGI-ing a mustache off of his face.
Nope.
Yeah, that was nice
Oh
too.
my
No
God.
trace of that. Thank God. All right, Shay, let him have it. What were your thoughts on Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I definitely liked it more than Justice League, than the theatrical cut, because you made me watch both so that I could compare.
I didn't make
thought-
you watch both. You
I
requested.
I got to watch both so that I could compare. I really liked this version. It was really cool to see a lot more backstory, especially for Barry and for Victor, because I felt like it was like, oh, these guys are here now, and they just instantly joined. We had a lot more lead up to that. We got to see a lot more of them on their own before they became part of the Justice League, which I really liked. And then they took out some of the really cringy stuff that they had in the theatrical cut that I did not like.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I really liked it.
Oh, all right. Yeah, where do we begin with this? Whew.
Can I just say, this I think there's going to be a lot of praise on all of our parts, because since this is a special case, I find it very hard to critique this movie, because this whole movie exists because we are making something right that was originally wrong. You know,
Mhm.
this movie, the existence of it is such a good thing that it's hard to critique what minor faults there might be in it.
Right. Oh, I didn't even give my thoughts. I just thought about it. I'm so excited. Okay. Whew. So, this movie is what I've been waiting for 20 years. Not just from 2017, for 20 years. Cause I grew up with these characters since I was a little kid. I was a little DC boy, and ever since me as a DC boy was dreaming of having a live-action Justice League movie, a great live-action Justice League movie, and this is it. This is it. This is the Justice League that I wanted. I love this movie. I loved it. Oh my gosh. It was just so great. I mean, we could easily just tear apart the 2017 one and, you know, give so many examples of how this did better stuff than the 2017 one, which is most likely what we're going to do throughout this entire podcast, just to let you know. But just as a movie on its own, it's just so enjoyable, you know? At first I was skeptical with this being a whole 4 hours, and yeah, there's some nitpicks and there's some issues here and there that, you know, like, that I'll talk about, but like even those, it wasn't enough to ruin my enjoyment. The 4 hours went by so quickly. It's better paced than the 2-hour film that came out previous. How is that even possible? Because you got good writing, good structure, good direction. Zack Snyder, like, I don't know why people doubt this man. I don't know why this man gets so much crap for what he did. Now, is this exactly what I would do with the DC universe if I was the one helming these movies? Would I make the exact same decisions that Snyder's done? No. But you cannot deny the passion that he has for these characters. Like, the overall detail that he gives to all the characters in the world, and, you know, just the story. You can tell that Snyder loves these characters and want to do justice, towards them. And it's like, man, we would have been in a better situation if this was the first thing that came out. And I hope Warner Brothers realizes that. They probably do, but they don't want to admit it. But this is the Justice League movie I've been waiting for. I really enjoyed this. Oh, okay. So now let's just get into details. So, I guess we'll get into the characters in a minute, but I just want to get more into just the overall structure of this film. Like, the stuff that I hated from that 2017 version is how short it was. Like, not to mention that you already have Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman already established, but you expect to give enough development to Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman, which this is their first time in a movie, and it's like you expect 2 hours to give enough time? That just really pissed me off, and it's like...
And establish a villain and a conflict and solve it all in 2 hours.
All in that! And I'm just like, what were they thinking? It's like... They really thought this was just some sort of, like, you know those animated DC straight to DVD movies that were like less than 2 hours. They treated that like that, and it's like, no, that's not how you do it with these characters. Especially, like, I'll say up front, like, I mean, as happy as I was with this movie, it also just pissed me off because, you know, the theatrical cut is fresh in my mind, and just seeing all the stuff that they changed from that unnecessarily just really pissed me off. Like, the overall the opening scene of this movie, yeah, it's like it's calling back to the end of BVS. Like, there's actual, you know, tying in with the previous movies. Like, who would have thought? Because this is a direct continuation of BVS. I love the opening. Like, they establish when Superman dies from Doomsday, spoilers, his scream activates the mother box. Now, I thought that was kind of odd, but they establish why the mother boxes have awakened, and also you see the other worlds that are affected by it. You see Atlantis, you see Themyscira, and then you see Cyborg. You just see all this stuff establishing, the world within 3 minutes of this movie. I'm already like, this is better. This is so much better. Like, they're actually not ignoring Man of Steel and BVS like the theatrical cut did, because like they just completely ignored plot points like the nightmare stuff. Okay, so really Kree had to leave because it's a work emergency. She had to go, so it's okay. Okay. We'll see if she'll be able to come back. We'll come back in time. We'll see.
Come back at the end for final thoughts.
Yeah, so we will see. Okay, but yeah, I just really like that they gave more time to flesh out the world, because like it just felt so truncated in the theatrical. It just really frustrated me that things were just going by so quickly and you didn't understand fully what was going on. It's just cliff notes, and I like that even like the supporting characters got some development as well, because like there was a lot of characters that was in this movie that was cut out from the theatrical, like so many. Like you had of course you had Iris West, played by Kirstie Clemens. We heard that she was going to be in the movie, but she got cut out. And you had Volko, played by William Dafoe, who was in the Aquaman movie. He got cut out for some reason. And then like there's even some the stuff with the Amazons and Themyscira that got cut out. You had the Atom. You had the Atom in this movie. I mean, he's not the full out Atom in this film, but like they set up his character, for to possibly come back in future DC films, working with Silas Stone, Cyborg's dad, working at Star Labs. So I just really like the world building they do. One of the things I love about DC is the world building that they do, and I just really appreciate that they gave more development with that. But yeah, how'd you feel about it? How'd you feel about the world building that they just added back in?
Yeah, I love that they just gave time to really establish these characters and flesh them out more. So it actually felt feasible for them to join up with Batman and Wonder Woman to actually form the Justice League made sense in this movie.
Right. Anything with you?
Yeah, I agree with that. It was nice that they put in like little tidbits they could build off of in future films.
Mm-hmm.
Like how you got the Martian Manhunter, how he was in there, something they completely cut from the other one.
Yeah.
So you just get like that little tidbit that they can build off of in the future, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Like I know, like there's certain stuff that is not essential to the story. And I can see there's some stuff that they cut out, which I get it, but it's just glad that they just added those little bits in there, because it just adds more to the new characters you're establishing with Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman. It just feel like they're just plopped in there, as we said. It's more, more feasible by the time they team up at the end. And then it's like the cinematography is so much better. I didn't like how it was oversaturated with all these bright reds and blues and yellows looking like a Marvel movie. I was just like, oh my god, it just didn't look right, because it didn't look natural. Those when 3D was just coming out, and it's like you had those movies that are specifically made for 3D, but then you had these other films that that just made the film regular, but then they wanted to post-convert into 3D, and it doesn't look right when you see it in theaters. That's what that felt like with the saturation. Like them turning up the colors in the theatrical, it didn't look natural. Like it felt artificial. It made the movie look more fake.
Yeah, especially in the climax of the theatrical. That was so fake looking.
No more bright reds and purples and all that garbage. Oh my god. I know people will complain about, the DC films are desaturized, it's too dark or whatever, but I never had a problem with that, because Snyder really knows how to use certain primary colors in his films to make things pop. So it's not like there's no color at all, and it's some effects look better when it's at night, you know. And it's like it shows in this movie because like certain effects that didn't look as good in the theatrical looked better here because you know it was lit darker, or you know Snyder knew how to use the right colors in certain scenes. So I definitely liked that. And then the biggest thing, the dialogue. Oh my God! What was Whedon thinking restructuring most of the dialogue in this movie? Of course, because he wanted to make it funnier. Like, it's so ridiculous. Like, there were so many parts in the 2017 one where I was just like, oh my God, did
like,
really just say that?
Cringy.
Exactly.
Yeah, like any line that was cringy in the 2017 version, we now know for a fact that was Joss Whedon because none of it is present here.
None of it. And then that's their dog in the background as you hear him.
Oh yeah, he's dreaming.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
dreaming. But yeah, and then to our surprise, the movie's already funny.
Yeah,
Like-
it had a lot of funny parts in this movie.
Yeah,
Like,
just seeing the camaraderie.
Barry's
of the
taking a hot dog in slow motion from the sky so that it can help him with his interview that he was obviously bombing, and the fact that he was late to the interview in the first place when he's the Flash.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they had so many good little comedic bits in there already, and yet we get, what's up with brunch? What is brunch about in the theatrical cut?
Like they're trying to marvelize it.
Yeah,
Right, it's like it's just
there's plenty of comedy in this cut. They didn't need to make the theatrical cut just cringy and weird. Anyway,
yeah, you're exactly right. It's like this is what Snyder been saying from the beginning, that it was, I mean, for people that saying that BBS and Man of Steel was like more depressing and dark or whatever, I didn't feel that necessarily, but I mean I kind of see their point with BBS because it is a dark movie, but it's like he was saying that Justice League was going to be more, you know, it was going to be more optimistic. It's not going to be as somber as BBS, and like the jokes will come off more natural. You know, that's the thing. Like, unlike Marvel, you know, it felt like the humor fit with the characters. You know, it didn't feel like they stopped the movie to wink at the audience. That's one of the things that annoys me with certain superhero movies. But like, anytime there was like quips or dry humor or stuff like that, it felt natural. It didn't feel like a get it, we're funny.
there were lots of funny bits. in
Yeah,
this
they just
movie.
let the
Yeah.
humor
But,
happen.
like,
they didn't
They
try
didn't
to
have to
make
be like,
funny
oh,
parts.
it's funny, you need to laugh now. Are you laughing? Do you find this funny? Like, one of the things I thought was really funny is when Alfred is, like, critiquing while Diana's making tea the whole time. He's like, don't do this. No, not like that.
No.
You're not gonna do this, right? And, like, that's funny. And they don't need to point out, haha, it's a joke, laugh.
Right.
But there's humor in this movie.
There's
I like
humor. It's like, so like it just really baffles me that like they felt the need to redo those.
that. Yeah.
Like, what is going on here? I'm like, no. And then not even just with the jokes, just overall scenes. Like, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm sorry if I keep bringing up the 2017 one, but it just baffles my mind. Like, even certain scenes that are meant to be serious in this movie was restructured in the Whedonverse to be more funny. For example, when Bruce and Alfred are talking on the plane after he was trying to recruit Aquaman, and it's like that whole scene was reshot. And then in the theatrical, there's like more quips that are unnecessary, and there's more like making Bruce look like a doofus. Like I just didn't. Why? This whole thing from like why? Why did you need to reshoot entire scenes when there was nothing wrong with them? It's like Whedon was, or Warner Brothers, I don't know if it's completely Whedon's fault or Warner Brothers' fault. I equally blame both of them, but like they didn't want any subtlety. They didn't like any earnestness in this movie, and like it just really frustrates me. It like, you guys knew, we all watched it together, and like there's like when certain scenes come up that's similar to theatrical, I would literally scream out, why did they cut that? Or why is this restructured? Unnecessary. Like,
because when you watch this movie, essentially, it's the same movie. The team is getting together, they're fighting Steppenwolf, trying to, with these mother boxes. It follows the same structure, but it's just done in its such a better way. And you're watching it and you're seeing, okay, yep, this is a scene from the theatrical version. But then the scene just plays out completely differently with different dialogue or different, just different pieces that happen. You're just like, oh my gosh, like we're watching the same movie, but it's a different, way better movie.
Yeah, it's like, the skeleton of the movie, it's the same. Like, they tread similar beats from the theatrical, but the overall substance of the movie is completely different. It plays out different. There's more to it, and it's like they're treating it more seriously, It's so, like it just boggles my mind. I guess we can get into characters, and then I guess that we could bring up certain scenes that we liked about them. But let's start with the Flash, since we already talked about him. Barry, so much.
Oh, he's so much better in this version.
So much better.
Oh my gosh, I loved that we got more background with Barry.
Yeah, like I didn't mind him in the theatrical. I thought he was okay, but it's like you could tell they were trying too hard to make him the comic relief, like making him too awkward, and we'd have given him silly scenes or silly pieces of dialogue, like the brunch thing, or is it too late to bring up my blood sugar, blah blah blah.
Or I've never actually seen combat.
Like they actually
I just
had
push
him
things
helping.
and run away.
It's just
When they have that whole thing where they're fighting the parademons and they're getting the hostages from under the lake, in the theatrical cut, they just had Barry like getting the people out, but he was actually fighting and helping in this one.
Yes.
And it was so good. They're just like, oh, I'm just a scared little kid and I don't know what to do, and Ben was like, just one at a time.
Just one at a time.
Yeah,
They didn't do that in this version. He was actually helpful and he was actually fighting, and that was so much better.
Yes.
Especially during the climax too. Like in the theatrical version, he was helping that stupid family and just pushing the truck away.
God, that Russian family.
It's like, I hope
my
this
God.
is east, or whatever way it was supposed to be
What?
going.
And then that's,
Unnecessary.
they're not even in
No,
this
this
version.
time he goes back in time.
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh my God! When you go,
he fucking helped out.
Yeah, like Barry was so much better in this one because they actually let him be helpful, and it was just like, oh, I don't know what to do. Someone tell me what to do. It was so
I'm
much
just gonna
better.
run away from these people.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I'm going
I
to be
just
silly.
need friends, so.
I'm going to
I
be
mean, he
silly.
still said he needed friends in this one, but he was actually like a useful, helpful part of the team, and not just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Right, and Flash is still a little bit awkward in this movie,
Yeah,
but it
but,
felt
like-
endearing in this
Yeah.
version. Like, it didn't feel too much, you
Yeah,
know?
it was just enough awkward,
Just enough awkward.
and Victor was just enough angst.
Yes, he's next.
Yeah,
He is next. But, and I like that, they kept some of the more serious moments, like, with him, like when he's talking with his father at, when he's in prison, Henry Allen. There's even some added dialogue
Yes.
with him.
They extended the Henry Allen stuff. That was great.
That was
Yeah.
so good. I'm just like, why did you cut any of this out? I mean, I know you want to keep to the 2-hour runtime or whatever, so we gotta
Well,
cut
this is
some
stuff we want to know.
This stuff we need to know, and it's like,
It's character building. If this is the first movie that he's gonna be in, we should get more of him.
right?
You know?
Yeah, and like, the Flash movie's coming in 2022, but it's like, this is our first time seeing this character,
Yeah,
so
it's
yeah.
nice to have the setup of this is what his motivations are, this is why he's doing what he's doing.
Yes, why he's doing criminal justice, because
Yeah.
they established that, that he's being framed for his mother's murder, which, if you guys are comic book fans, it's because of Reverse Flash, so hopefully Reverse Flash will be in the actual Flash movie, and we'll get payoff from that.
Or if you watch the Arrowverse.
Oh, God! Stupid ass Arrowverse. No. But anyway, I hope we get some payoff from that. But I'm glad they established why he wants to go into criminal justice. Because if you don't know anything about the Flash, then you just be like, what does this have to do with anything? So, really liked it. And when he goes into the Speed Force at the end, oh my God, it's so great. Why would you cut any of that? What is that, man?
Oh, there's no time for it. 2 hours.
Oh my God, this is one of my favorite.
No, let's not set up one of his like really powerful things he can do, like literally go back to.
Like, no, let's have him save this pointless Russian family. That'll be his
So they
payoff
keep going
moment.
back to it.
That'll
Like,
be
several
good.
scenes with it. Like, let's cut out important character building backstory and add in this rando family. What?
They're nowhere to be found in this version.
Gotta help the civilians. Yeah, you're helping the civilians by saving the fucking world.
Like, hello? Hello? And they actually do take the time to save people between this movie, so people can't complain. They don't save people. Yes, they do. So I love this Flash a lot. Yeah, I said it before that I do like his suit a lot. I like his suit quite a bit, and it makes sense. You know, they explain some of the theatrical, but it's like they explain that it's made out of spaceship parts to help keep him from burning up from re-entry and whatever. I like there's little details like they try to put real life physics into him, you know, running with super speed. Like even when he's saving Iris, like when he you know, was breaking the glass and about to save him, his shoes deteriorate or whatever.
Yeah, it was fun when he turned and they just shredded.
Turned and it's like, oh my
That was a
god,
cool shot.
so amazing, oh my god. And then he's trying not to touch, you know, Iris too much because he doesn't want to, you know, incinerate her either. So it's like that type of physics too. I like that there's real life physics in this movie, even though it's a comic book movie and it's like you got to suspend your disbelief in certain moments. I'm glad Zack took the time to put details into that as well. Okay, now let's get into Cyborg.
Angst.
You know what? And I liked it.
It was good.
I liked it so
the
much.
Backstory, the accident, his mother. His mother is great. I love her.
Yes.
It's Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone.
Yes.
Like, yes, you actually get development. Like, they cut
That
out.
was so good.
They did him dirty. I think he got the worst other than Superman. Like, he felt like an afterthought in the 2017 version. Like, they just had him here just because. Like, there was no backstory. There was no development with him. He's just there. And I'm so glad they put all this stuff back in here. Like, he had the
so
best development in this movie.
And then when they were in the mother box and it was his family, oh my goodness. So good.
So beautiful. When Zack said he was going to be the heart of this movie, I felt it. Like, you cut out the accident with his mom, you cut out how he got into the accident, you don't explain how Silas, you know, brought him back, you know, with his cybernetic parts. We see all of that. You have development between him and his father. Like, all that stuff, just so great. And him just trying to figure out his powers too. Oh my god, there was a beautiful scene when he's trying to figure out his powers. And he sees, like, because he can see different camera stuff or whatever. He can hone into the network and see whatever. He sees this struggling mother that gets evicted. And then, what does he do? He hacks the ATM to give her $100,000. Why would you cut that? That was so beautiful.
I mean, technically that is robbery, but
Who cares? This is a Robin Hood scene, man.
yeah.
Like, oh my god, like that was just such a great scene. Like, is that necessary to the plot? No. But it's just
necessary to, like, character building.
yes, to
Like,
add
this
character.
is the first film that he's appearing in. We want to know, like, who he is as a person. I think that really, that scene really lends itself to that.
Yes.
Showing who he is.
Exactly. And even like his CGI prosthetics, I think it even looks better in this one than it did in the theatrical. Like, there's more detail in it. I don't know if it's just me, but it's like I felt like they took more time to, like, you know, to touch up his cybernetic effects. So I really liked his stuff. And you know, you see his flying scene, you see his head cover up that he doesn't have in the theatrical.
That was in the trailer, but we didn't see it until now.
Yeah.
Yep, that was great.
Like, what was the point of that? What was the point of that? Like, oh my gosh. And then he actually uses his cannons in this movie, and like you see him actually being able to hack into stuff, as we said. So it's like, man, I want a Cyborg movie. I would like one, please.
That would be good.
Cyborg
Yeah,
movie,
can we
please.
just have it?
Ray Fisher. Oh man, I hope you get through this this controversy with Walter Hamada and Jeff Johns and stuff like that, because like he's such a great talent. Like, he's not even a well-known actor. He's a Broadway actor, and Zack looked at him and be like, "You're gonna be my Cyborg." What a great choice. Like, oh my gosh, I loved it so much. Okay, let's move on to Aquaman. Okay, so I'll say there's not that much that they changed from this movie, but they just added certain things here and there. So for in general, he gets a similar amount of development, but at least the stuff with Volko and Mira, there's more stuff with that, because like it just felt like an afterthought in the theatrical. It just had that one scene with Mira explaining, oh, he has to come to Atlantis and challenge his brother or whatever, become king. and that's it. We don't get any more of that. But I'm glad the vocals in there, even though he's not in it a lot, but like the scenes that he's in just adds to Arthur's character, you know, just adding more to what is the whole thing with, you know, the conflict with his mother. Why is he not wanting to you know, be with the Atlanteans or whatever? Why does he feel like he doesn't belong anywhere and he's being, you know, just drifting off doing his own thing? There's more stuff with that, with him just without him just feeling like he's just being emo for no reason. So like there's actually reason to that. And it's like I wasn't expecting too much because we get the Aquaman movie and we get a whole bunch more development with him in that. But, you know, I'm just glad that they added more, you know, when it comes to the Mera and the vocal stuff. I think that's really the bulk of what it is, and then just some added parts here and there with the scenes we already saw from the 2017 version. So like that. I still don't know how to feel about the air bubble stuff. And then talking, you know, the only
like
way
in the air, and then but in Aquaman they can just talk.
they can just talk underwater. Like I don't know. I mean,
I wasn't really thinking too hard about the air bubble thing.
I guess. I mean, well, it's another thing with Zack trying to add some more realism to it, you know, because like you can't really hear anybody underwater, so I guess he wanted to be more true to that. But at the same time, them talking underwater in the Aquaman movie still works for me.
They live underwater. They're gonna talk underwater.
I guess so. It's
to each other, they can hear each other. You know, I mean, whatever. You know?
I guess whatever. So I guess it's fine. I guess we got to address the Amber Heard controversy real quick.
Fuck Amber Heard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, fuck Amber Heard. I like her Mera. You know, I enjoy the Mera character.
Yeah.
So I try to separate those two.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm glad to see Mera in this movie, but at the same time, it's like, Amber Heard, why are you still here?
Yeah, it's like I really enjoy her Mera too, and it's like at first, you know, when she was cast, I'm like, why is she playing Mera? She's not that good of an actress, but she surprised me. You know, I'll admit it, she surprised me. But you know, watching her now after knowing everything that's going on with Johnny Depp, it is hard for me to watch. Even though I enjoy her, it's just hard for me to watch her because I know like Amber Heard in real life is just a scummy human being.
Person.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Her. Oh my
So
Yeah.
I hope in the future DC movies they figure out a way to get her out because like it's just gonna cause more controversy if she's still there. But you know,
Causing Johnny Depp this defamation.
yeah, because he was,
deserves what she gets.
yeah. So we'll see where that goes. So I don't know. Just see.
It's just stupid because Warner Brothers makes Johnny Depp quit.
Yeah, the Fantastic Beasts.
But they keep Amber Heard hired.
Like, goddamn. Like, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it's just like, it just something doesn't feel right. But yeah, so I don't know. When they had that action sequence underwater with Steppenwolf, I like that she had the blood bending thing, like taking the blood out of Steppenwolf's nose. They added that back to the movie. That was pretty cool. And I really like their armor, you know. Even though I did like what they wore in the Aquaman movie, I wish they utilized that more in the Aquaman movie because their armor stuff looked cool, vocal stuff looked cool, and even Arthur's stuff looked cool. So I don't know, I wish they kept that more. And yeah, Amber Heard's hair is not as red as it is in the Aquaman movie, but you know that's a nitpick.
She gets her hair treated in between movies.
Okay, sure. Why not? I guess. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about your favorite Wonder Woman, Shay. Let's talk about Wonder Woman.
Hell yeah!
Oh my gosh.
Best theme. She has the best theme.
Okay.
Her theme, it's the best.
Okay. So she really likes her themes.
Yeah, it's the best one out of any of them.
The Man of Steel one.
No.
The Man of Steel one's
No.
really great.
Wonder Woman has the best theme.
Okay, I have something to say about her theme in this movie. You might not like, but
Oh.
I'll
Are you
get.
sure you want to do that?
You know what? We haven't fought in a while. let's do that now.
When did we fight?
Oh yeah, we haven't.
Okay.
I guess not.
forget.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
That means
Anyway.
I'm a great boyfriend. Anyway, but yeah, Wonder Woman. Oh my God, she was great. She was
She's the
fantastic.
best. My fave. Love her.
Oh, like
So good.
man, like
Like, have you seen her? She's the best.
I dare say, I know people don't like me to criticize the first Wonder Woman movie. I know it's sacrilege to criticize the first Wonder Woman movie, but
because it's a perfect work of art.
I mean, if that's what you feel, that's fine. That's completely fine.
This is a great movie.
But like, this is I argue to say, I think this is my favorite portrayal of Wonder Woman in any of the movies.
I think
Like,
she's really good in this
like,
one.
oh my
Definitely
gosh.
better than 84.
Oh my God. So you guys know, we talked about 84, and I was defending the movie, and like I enjoy certain moments of the movie. It's not great, but yeah, I admit there's some problems. But after watching this, I'm like,
She used to hit things with a sword again.
yeah, I'm like,
Hell yeah.
yeah, fuck 84. What the fuck, Wonder Woman 84? Oh
She
my
got her sword back
God.
out.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's go.
they made me
Fighting
miss
shit.
that sword
Yes.
and shield, and her actually not being afraid to kill people. Like, we ain't fighting evil with love. Screw that. Like, no.
We're fighting evil with swords.
Man.
Yes.
Yeah, when those bad guys were storming the
The bang?
The bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was kicking ass.
It was so good. She
Like,
just like
yeah.
exploded that
Like,
guy.
do
on
what
the
I have to.
side. And
That's
then his hat was perfectly fine, which was like, okay.
Oh, yes.
I get it's for drama and whatever, but like his whole body explodes, but his hat just perfectly floats to the ground.
And that's another thing that was reshot in the theatrical. It's like, I mean, it plays out almost the same, but it's like, once again, like, just they cut out certain moments in there that would have made it more intense and impactful, and like the whole, even the case blowing up felt more impactful, and then even her fight scene in the building is different. Like, it's a completely different fight scene. Well, not completely different, but it's just like certain shots of her fighting. It's like, it's different. Why? For what reason? And then we don't get in this version, like, yeah, she uses her gauntlets and blows up one of the terrorists, like, just incinerates them out the window.
To be clear, when we say why is this different, that's directed at the theatrical version.
Yeah.
Because these changes, in this version are the original version. This
Yeah.
is
Yes.
how
So
it
like
should
they changed
be.
it for the theatrical
So,
cut, and
yeah.
it's like, if
So it's like,
this is what they were going for
why is
anyway,
this-
why
yeah.
is this different?
Why is this changed? Like,
Yeah.
why did they bother to change it for the theatrical in the first place?
Yeah.
So these are good changes, but it's just frustrating that there had to be a change at all.
Right.
I just wanted to clarify that in case anyone's like wondering if we're liking these or not.
Right. Yeah. So
yeah,
it's
so I
like,
definitely like it.
yes. So like, oh yeah, all the stuff that we're talking about, yeah, all the changes that we're going to be talking about, we love them. But it's just we're at the same time frustrated because all the stuff we're seeing in this version
Like,
was
this is what
not
they shot
in the
originally,
2017.
and they just like took it out
Took it out
for no reason.
or changed it to
like
be a
now it
certain
has
way.
dumb dialogue.
Like, what
jokes.
is going on? It's, instead of a 3-minute scene, it's a 1.5-minute scene. Like, what?
Time constraints.
Right, and then, yeah, going back to Wonder Woman, like, while she's also being badass, she actually takes the time to be, to be that gentle thing, to be a role model to the girls. Like, there's, after she incinerates the terrorists, and she makes sure everyone's alright, and then she talks to that one girl, and it's like, I like when she goes up to that girl and is like, you alright, princess? And then she asks, can I be like you one day? And she's like, you can be anything you want to be. That's Wonder Woman. That is Wonder Woman, man. Like, Patty Jenkins, I'm sorry. I enjoyed your first Wonder Woman movie, and I even like certain parts of 84, but I'm sorry, I don't want any more of this peacemaker, we're gonna fight you with love garbage. Like, if
No,
Truth
we
is
want
the most
swords.
powerful weapon.
Let's hit
Right.
stuff
You
with
know,
swords.
these lies will never be able to. Oh gosh.
Yeah,
all
it's
that
like-
preachy shit.
yeah, so, like,
Please let
You-
Wonder Woman hit things with swords.
right, like, please let Zack, like, produce again. Like, can we just, like, come on. And there's even some people that want him to direct the third Wonder Woman movie, where I'm like, if Patty's okay with it, I don't want to just take Patty's job. But it's like, I feel like Zack just needs to be back on the saddle with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean Patty can direct it, but I think he needs to help her.
yeah. So great. Loved it. And, okay, so let me talk about her theme real quick. I like her theme. I like her theme a lot.
Her theme's great.
Yes,
It's
but
a
there's
wonderful
one,
composition.
yeah, there's one thing that bothered me, though.
What could possibly bother you about such a perfect theme?
That that Amazonian cat call that keeps playing every time she does something.
Like the ancient lament that they were doing.
Like you keep hearing that whenever she does something. Like, it's effective in a couple of scenes. Like,
Okay.
when she's first being introduced, or when they're using Artemis's arrow to warn her in the movie. Like, there is a really good points of using the Amazonian cat call. That's what I'm gonna call it. But
I'm gonna be calling it ancient lamentation.
But every time when she's walking, or when she's staring at somebody, or when she's like, throwing a punch, it keeps going,
You go, girl.
I'm like, can we cut that out a little bit? Like, we don't need this in every scene, please. Like, no, we don't need that.
Speaking of which, let's talk about the score.
The score, so much better. Junkie XL did the score for this movie, which he did the score with Hans Zimmer in Batman v Superman. So it's just another progression of that. So much better. It makes the scenes much more. It just makes the scenes better because you don't have a bunch of boring Danny Elfman music playing in the background. It's a lot more metal. It's more intense. It makes you feel emotions. Like, it's just so much more memorable, and they're actually utilizing the themes that were already established in Man of Steel and BVS and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
some Man of Steel's themes. They called those back, and that was very nice. And this was another change that they fucking did for the theatrical version. It was supposed to be Junkie XL originally, but when Joss Whedon took over, that's when they got rid of him and brought Danny Elfman in.
Yeah.
Nothing against Danny Elfman, it's just his music just isn't as good for this.
Yeah, like, there was no need to bring Danny Elfman to do this movie. Like, there was no reason. What, because you wanted to use you wanted to harken on our nostalgia by you keep doing the classic Superman and Batman theme which doesn't fit with this version of Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand
I mean, they're
it.
great themes on their own, but
Right.
don't put them in here.
But it works for their versions of Batman and Superman. But it's like, the Dark Knight trilogy had their own theme. Like, why can't this have a different theme? Like, it's just really frustrating.
That Man of Steel theme, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's my favorite. It's the best ever. But it was
Wonder
better.
Woman's theme.
It was better placed in this than Wonder Woman's. For sure.
But, I will say,
I
going back
disagree.
to the whatever you want to call it, the lamentation type music.
Yeah.
It did feel a bit excessive. Like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I mean, I can get
Oh,
that.
the Amazonian cat call.
Yeah. You're doing this again?
It's like,
So
okay.
wasn't this your complaint about the movie, and now this is the third time in the podcast? You've done
It's a
that?
nitpick. It doesn't
Yeah.
ruin my
No, it
enjoyment of
doesn't
the
ruin
film.
movie,
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
just
I
it's
mean,
just
I
one
get
thing
that.
that noticed
It
me.
was just slightly distracting. Like, oh, this again?
Yep. It's like you
Lament again? Okay.
It's like
Okay, whatever.
it's like you're just talking. Why is this playing? Okay. All right. But anyway, yeah. So Wonder Woman, absolutely great.
Mhm.
Batman, so much better. Like, they made him a joke in the theatrical. Like, they gave him stupid jokes. They made him all awkward.
Yeah, they try and have him do one-liners in the theatrical version. It just doesn't fucking work.
Yep, something's definitely bleeding. Oh my god. Ah, I'm like, God.
Oh, God.
Damn. I don't not love you. Like, Jesus. Alfred, I need the big guns. Like, I was so mad. What is this? And then, you guys probably didn't notice, but like in the reshoots, he looked kind of out of shape. And I noticed that in the theatrical. In this,
Really?
yeah, he did. Like, he looked a little puffier, because like, yeah, he wasn't keeping himself in shape as much
No.
after the reshoots and whatever. I just noticed that. It's probably something that most people won't notice. Y'all casuals. But
Hey.
for me, I was like, yeah, he's looking a little puffier in this, and he doesn't look as fit as he does in the other shots. So, like, I like consistently, it's fit Ben Affleck, you know, and they made it more serious. He feels more in line with the BVS Batman, so, you know, Ben Affleck's my favorite live-action Batman, so I'm just glad to have him back. But,
Yeah, Batfleck is awesome, and this
Yeah.
just really drove home the fact that I do not want this Robert Pattinson Batman bullshit. You know, I'm already calling it. I am boycotting that movie. I don't fucking want it. I want what they gave us here. This was great Batman.
yeah, and especially the stuff they set up for Ben Affleck's Batman standalone movie that didn't come to be, like, it just really frustrates me that we can't get it now.
Yeah. So Warner Brothers, I'm not seeing your new movie. I want Batman in the DCEU. I don't want this other side thing with Robert Pattinson that doesn't belong.
I'll still watch it because I'm curious and I like Matt Reeves and I want to see what Robert Pattinson does. But yeah, like, this is not what I wanted, bruh. This is not what I wanted. I wanted more Ben Affleck as well. So it's frustrating. And it's like, you know, they're pushing this whole multiverse thing. And it's like they want to do this new Batman, but we can't have this one either. You want to, I mean, you can have your Matt Reeves Batman, but we can't have Ben Affleck over here too? Like, what's the point of your multiverse? We'll get into that stuff later, but, you know, restoring the Snyder'S and stuff like that, but it's like, yeah, I just really like this Batman. I don't know why people have a problem with this Batman. Oh, because Batman doesn't kill. Blah, blah, blah.
It's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, God, I'm tired of that argument. Like, I'll say up front, this is a hot take. I don't care what people say about this. I think Batman's no-killing rule is flawed. It's ridiculous. It's not consistent. It doesn't fully make sense. And in the world that they're establishing, it doesn't make sense for him to keep his no-killing rule because you don't have... It's not going to be a perfect situation where he's going to prevent deaths from happening, you know, when he's fighting crime. That's not realistic. And I know it's a comic book movie and it's about a grown man that dresses up as a bat. But for you to be just so gung-ho and being like, I'm not going to kill anybody, like, you can't stop that from happening, man.
Even though Michael Keaton's Batman has killed people.
Yes, and even Christian Bale's kill people. It may not be directly, but he's killed people. Like, people don't, like, they don't want to talk about that. He let Ra's al Ghul die.
Yeah.
He could have saved him, but
No, he killed him.
And he killed Two-Face as well.
Uh-huh.
Indirectly, but he killed him.
The law would consider that murder. Just saying.
So, like, this whole thing of Batman doesn't kill is just so ridiculous. And then it's like, you're so adamant on, like, if I kill one person, I feel like I won't go back from it. So that means you're insane.
You're not becoming a murderer. You're just... You're in a bad situation. You have to just do... You know, what you have to do in order...
Right.
To be Batman. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just serve justice the best. Like, you know, like when Superman had to kill Zod, he had no other choice.
Yeah. It's like they kill when it's absolutely necessary. It's not they go out their way killing people, but it's like sometimes it's necessary. No, the Batman fans won't like that, but you know what? That's how I feel. I don't give a crap about his no-killing rule. So...
Oh boy. Hey, speaking of killing, we didn't even talk about Steppenwolf yet.
Oh, well, don't
yeah,
worry.
we
We'll get
haven't
to
said
him. We'll get to
anything
him.
about him.
We'll get to him. Actually, yeah, I could say Superman for last. But yeah, we could talk about Steppenwolf. Steppenwolf.
He looks so much cooler in this
So
movie.
Oh
much
my
better.
God.
His design in the
he
theatrical
looks so
version
cool.
was fucking pathetic.
Like, looked like a PS2 cutscene Liam Neeson knockoff. Always talking about mother, oh my mother, mother is calling. Like, Jesus Christ, so bad. They thought that was good. They thought, yeah, let's make it one-dimensional, like most of the Marvel villains. Like,
No, this time he has, like, motivation, purpose.
like
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And they made him more menacing looking, and they changed his voice to to have that match
Mm-hmm.
his appearance. So that sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Syrian Hines did a great job, and yes, his design looks so much better. He's actually scary. He's actually
Yeah, you're just like
intimidating.
picking up horses by the reins and
Yeah.
just throwing
Throwing them,
Yeah,
chucking them.
I thought he was a fucking joke in the theatrical version, and then this version, I'm like, holy shit, this guy
He's
is awesome.
terrifying.
He's
It's so
badass.
good.
He's decapitating
That's
Amazons.
Scary. This guy
Like,
is scary.
oh
Like,
my
what a
God.
great villain.
And it's like his armor that he has, like, it has freaking spikes everywhere, and it
He's
freaking
just like
moves.
making the arrows like pop out of it.
Yeah, when he's getting shot by arrows and he doesn't feel anything, and then just use the armor to just chop them off his thing. I'm like, oh my God.
I don't know if it's just the armor, but he looks bigger. Like, he looks bulkier.
Oh no, yeah, he's
Like,
definitely
his figure is bigger.
yes.
He's more menacing.
Mm-hmm. And more alien. Like he
Yeah.
didn't just look like a white dude with some horns on his chin, like with the dorky looking helmet. Like, oh my God, it's so much better. And it's like, okay, in the comic books, he's not exactly doesn't look like that. You know, he's not like a full out alien, which it doesn't really matter. Are people that big of Steppenwolf fans to even care? Like, this is the best depiction, comics, movie-wise, this is the best Steppenwolf ever, because people actually give a crap about Steppenwolf now. Nobody was talking about Steppenwolf before this movie.
Yeah.
So, hey, this is a better adaptation than the comic books. I'm going to say it right now. And like I said, yes, he actually has motivation in this. You know, he's not one-dimensional. He actually is trying to, prove himself to Darkseid. We'll get to Darkseid in a minute. But he's actually trying to prove himself to Darkseid because, he betrayed him a long time ago. And so he has to take over 50,000 more worlds to get on Darkseid's good graces again. So he's trying to prove himself or whatever. So I actually feel bad because, when he's talking to Desaad, the other dude that he answers to, it's like you still owe him 50,000 more worlds. And I'm like, oh my God, he'll hear your plea when you pay your debt. And you can just see how sad he looks. Steppenwolf has emotion on his face. When he hears he got to get 50,000 more worlds, he's like, oh my God, no, it's impossible, but I'm gonna do it. Like, you feel emotion? You almost feel bad for him, even though you know he's gonna fry up the earth. Like, you can almost feel bad for him. They want to cut all that out.
No, we don't need it.
No, we could just have one-dimensional. Marvel didn't need extra layered villains. This one don't need any.
And that's why there are a lot of shitty Marvel villains.
Yeah, like Jesus Christ. Like, who would have
I don't
thought?
think Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't think Jesus is the Marvel.
You know what? I hate y'all. Actually, there's kind of a god figure in Marvel called the One Above All, so technically there
But is
is.
he Jesus?
Kind of. Y'all with your jokes. Anyway, so yeah, Steppenwolf is great.
Yeah, that's so good.
I like Desaad as well. Yeah, I never thought I would see Desaad in a movie. I never thought I would see Granny Goodness is in a movie. Like, oh my God! I mean, this is probably stuff that you guys don't know about, but
That's
for
casual.
yes. But you diehard DC fans, you know what I'm talking about. Did you ever think you would see Granny Goodness in a live-action Justice League movie? That's one of the things we'll be like, nah, that's too weird. They can't do that. But, like, they did it. They have Desaad and Steppenwolf and Darkseid talking about anti-life equations and stuff. I was just freaking out, because this is stuff I grew up reading, man. It's just like, it's crazy that this is happening in a film. Like, oh my God, it's just so good. It just looks so great, man. But let's talk about Darkseid, man. Darkseid! Oh my God. They cut him completely out of that theatrical cut. For what reason?
Yeah, just like he showed up in this one. Me, a person who hasn't really had. Who's that?
Who's that?
Like, who's he?
It's not like he's
They
one.
didn't talk about him.
Yeah, it's not like he's one of the biggest DC villains ever. The biggest DC villain ever. Like, you instantly would have made people care about Steppenwolf if Darkseid was there, and his presence was felt throughout the entire movie. There's even backstory with him. He's in the history lesson instead of Steppenwolf in the theatrical, which that didn't make any sense. Yeah, they just literally just replaced Darkseid with Steppenwolf in the
They had a
theatrical.
lot more like tidbits in there. They like had a lantern in that scene.
Yeah.
They had Zeus. In
Zeus
that
and
scene.
and Ares
so
and
good.
Artemis. Ares looks a lot better than this than what he did in Wonder Woman. I'm just gonna say that right now. Don't criticize Wonder Woman 1. I'm sorry. It's like Ares sucked in that movie. But anyway, but yeah.
Trying to be unsuspecting. Anyone look at that guy? I think that's Ares.
I mean,
No.
sure, but just look cooler when you get to the climax stuff. But anyway, this is
Anyway.
doing the mustache. Anyway, so much cooler. It was more drawn out, you know.
So much more backstory. It was so good.
Right. It's like you instantly made me care not only about Steppenwolf, but just you made it seem like Darkseid was this big deal, you know. And I know there's going to be comparisons with Thanos, being like, oh, it's just another Thanos, blah, blah, blah.
I think Kree described him to me as better Thanos.
Better Thanos. He came out before Thanos. For all you people that don't read comic books, he was out before Thanos. Technically, Thanos is a copy
So
of
Thanos
Darkseid.
is worse Darkseid.
Hmm?
So Thanos is worse Darkseid.
Yeah, it's like what he wishes Darkseid would be. And, bruh, if this is what we saw the first time in the theaters, people would have freaked out. And it's like, here's another hot take for you guys. They did a better job developing the big DC villain than they did with Thanos in the MCU because he didn't do much in the MCU to build him up. Like, they don't start building him up until Guardians of the Galaxy, and even then he's just sitting on a chair giving commands.
Yeah, calling Gamora his favorite.
And it's like you don't really see him do anything until Infinity War, so you don't even get an idea of how powerful Thanos is, or his backstory, or whatever, until Infinity War. So they did a better job developing Darkseid than they did in Thanos. Hot take, I know people won't like that, but that's the truth. That's the truth. But yeah, just he looked great, and his voice was great. Ray Porter, like, they got a voice actor from Audible to do Darkseid. It's not a big actor. He's another Broadway actor. He's done some TV stuff here and there, but like he's just known for doing voice acting for Audible. And Zack was like, you know what? You're good enough for Darkseid. Let's have you do it, and he did a great job. So shout outs to Ray Porter, man. Like, getting all these unknown talent, it's just great. I loved it. They did so good. Okay, now let's talk about Superman. You know Superman's my baby. Yeah, I love Superman. He's my favorite superhero of all time. But once again, they did him dirty in the theatrical. They destroyed him in the theatrical. I was so angry. Who thought it was a good idea to reshoot his mustache? They looked at that. They looked at the final product and was like, that's okay. That's alright.
Like, it looks fine.
It looks
no
fine.
One will
No one's
notice.
gonna notice.
Removing it with CGI. It looked fake as fuck.
Oh my god, it was so bad. And then on top of them giving corny one-liners just like Batman, like, I believe in truth, but I'm also a big fan of justice. I'm like, oh my like, so bad. Like, so bad. It's like,
No.
how did it feel coming back to life? Itchy.
What?
Like,
Itchy.
itchy. Wrong in so many ways. Like, this is not what Superman would say. Like, all you people saying that Superman's so depressing, Superman's so sad. Oh my god, shut up. Just shut up, man. Like, this, I felt so much more weight to his character, even though we don't get a lot of Superman in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's what I was
don't think we get
expecting.
very much time in there at all.
No.
What
But
time's he come back? Like,
and after the 2 hour mark, after maybe the
I'm
third
thinking
hour
we're
mark.
going
Yeah, I
close
think
to the
it's like
third
about
hour.
2.5 hours. But even
Yeah.
so, his role in this still felt more substantial than what they did with him in the theatrical cut.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just he didn't need to talk a lot to convey emotion, you know, because, you know, Snyder's such a visual director, he's able to convey emotion or people's motivations by just, you know, just seeing the emotion on the face, and that's one of the things I loved about Henry Cavill's Superman. He's able to portray emotion just by looking at him. And those things and those type of scenes are back in this film. They didn't have to do corny one-liners. He didn't have to smile every 2 minutes when it's not appropriate. Like, he didn't even need to wear the red, yellow, and blue costume. That's another thing. Warner Brothers looked at the black suit and was like, we don't want the black suit. Nobody wants the black suit. Nobody wants to see that. People want the red, yellow, and blue. And it's like, you're an idiot!
He had that black suit on, he went up into the sky and was bathing in the sun.
Yeah, like, it was First Flight 2.0. Like, his first fight in Man of Steel, he was that in this movie, and it was absolutely glorious. His black suit looked great. Like, I can't believe they looked at them and was like, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this.
No, we want him to look less cool.
That's cool. Like, oh my
You gotta
god.
keep the colors in.
Like, oh my gosh.
People won't know he's Superman without the
Oh yeah, that's
colors.
right. They'll be confused with a black suit.
They'll think he's Batman.
Without the helmet on.
And some people even complain, he's practically Batman because he's so moody and depressing and he kills people. like idiots. Oh my
People out there
god.
crack me up.
Now, thinking about it critically, did he need the black suit in this movie?
Yes, to look cool.
There you go.
Actually, to absorb more sun,
Yeah.
so it makes sense.
Yeah, if you want to
And
look
it
at that
looked rad as
context.
hell.
Right, so yeah, so if he was in the red, yellow, and blue suit, I would still love his scenes. If they were exact same and he wore his red, yellow, and blue, I still wouldn't be mad at it. But when you tell us that the black suit's in it and it's not in it at all, and it looks cool on screen, that just, oh my gosh. And then even when he's talking to Lois at the farm, it's so much better. That was completely reshot. No stupid, you smell good. Like, Jesus! Why? Just why? Like, that whole thing was redone. It just felt more emotional, more impactful, more serious, and you actually got Superman smiling in that for people complaining about that. He's actually smiling, he's actually happy, and he's playing with a butterfly. So it's like, do you want any more Superman than that? Like, come on, y'all. Like, so much more beautiful. Oh, and then talking about Lois, we haven't talked about Lois at all. I thought she was pretty good. She didn't have a lot to do in the movie either, but, just mourning Superman's death. Which I like that. There's more weight to it because in the theatrical, there wasn't much at all. And once again, stupid Whedon one-liners, like when he's talking to Martha at the I think they're at the planet. I don't know, but like that whole stupid joke about Lois being thirsty for Clark or whatever, and it's like, what?
That part did crack me up. But
You're the thirstiest one.
Yeah, but that was still stupid.
That was so dumb. Like, I like that there's actually time for her to, like, actually, she's actually still trying to get over Superman's death. You actually feel it's actually serious. It took itself more seriously, and there's actually a moment with who you think is Martha. That's actually whole talking with the two you think is Martha. I actually like that, the whole scene. But I actually like that they took time, to give Lois some more serious parts. And, when Superman comes back, that stuff just felt more impactful. And they even teased that she's pregnant as well.
That Lois controversy.
Oh, yeah, so...
It might not be Clark's.
Okay, yeah, for those who don't know that, okay, so... I read the scripts of what Snyder intended to have for Justice League Part 2 and Justice League Part 3. He changed them by now because those are early on. He wrote those like around when BVS. I don't think BVS was even released, but he wrote scripts for that. So at this point, he probably restructured some stuff. So take this stuff with a grain of salt. But yeah, Lois was pregnant, but it wasn't Superman's. It was Batman's. So apparently while Superman was gone, I guess they bonded or bonded. I guess
Is that what the kids are calling it?
Yeah, they hooked. I guess they, they're mourning over his death, and it's like, yeah, I guess we'll connect, and then we'll hit it a little bit. It's like, I don't know how to feel about that.
I don't like it. It's awful. It feels like a telenovela twist.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, Snyder, I love you, and it's like I'm willing to see your 2 and 3 if you ever are able to do it. But I'm sorry, I don't like that choice. I don't.
Opera, melodramatic shit.
No, like.
Oh, whose baby is it?
Oh God, no. Like, it just. it just takes the weight. It just takes the impact with Superman because we don't really see enough scenes with Lois and Bruce, so it doesn't feel earned or warranted. And it's like you just taking the rug up under Superman. It's like, oh, I come back, and then
this dude hasn't dealt with enough.
Like,
he literally died.
Like, God, like, oh, that's too much. I'm sorry, Zack. I don't like that choice. I don't. I liked most of the other choices, but that I'm like, no. I hope you change that.
Okay, in case you missed it, there's a part where she opens her bedside table, is it? And then you just very quickly see pregnancy test in there.
Yeah.
You blink and you miss it.
Right. So, and then, at the end, when, Bruce is like, congratulations, you can imply that's the wedding. That's the engagement. So I was like, okay, that's fine.
But we were looking at each other and being like, what are they talking about?
Which one they talking about?
Are they talking about the baby or are they talking about the
baby? Like, I don't know. But, yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. But, that's weird. Alright. Speaking of another scene we were talking about with the Martha and Lois thing, revealing that Martian Manhunter is in this movie. I freaked out.
Yeah, you freaked out.
And freaked out.
Yeah,
Yes.
loves Martian
Oh
Full
my
on
God.
freaking out.
Oh
She
my
was so
God.
happy to see
They
that.
like paused the movie and freaked out.
I had to take a minute because, like, even though I knew Martian Manhunter was going to be in here, but I didn't know, but it's like, he just going to put it in there like that, like, after Martha and Lois have their conversation, and then it turns out Martha's not actually Martha, it's Martian Manhunter. It's like, and then it turns out it is General Swanwick from Man of Steel has been Martian Manhunter the entire time. So that's actually cool. That's interesting because I did like Swanwick from Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. I did like him, so I like that they made him Martian Manhunter. It's pretty cool. And for you Arrowverse fans, it's kind of similar to the Martian Manhunter in that one because the General in that one was the Martian Manhunter and he was black as well. So it's like I guess it's kind of similar. So whatever.
Supergirl.
Yeah, Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I didn't see Supergirl.
Trash. Well, Martian Manhunter is actually pretty decent in that one. But yeah, so I like that. Martian Manhunter looks so great. Like, I didn't think I would have Martian Manhunter in a movie. I'm gonna say that a lot. There's a lot of things in this that I never thought I would see in a Justice League film. Martian Manhunter was one of them. He looked so great. I loved the design. I just so cool. Like, I loved it. It was great. Oh my God, so cool. Oh man. And the one thing that kind of bothered me though was the whole Martha and Lois scene I liked a lot, and it's like it kind of took away from that because it wasn't actually Martha talking to him, and I actually liked that conversation that they had, but to find out it was Martian Manhunter the entire time and not actually Martha, I don't know, it slightly bothered me.
Yeah, I did feel a little cheated by that as well.
Yeah, even though, yes, it's a cool moment and stuff like that. And, it does motivate Lois to, get out of her funk. But it's just like, I wish that just would have came off naturally. It would have been fine if Martian Manhunter was listening, outside of their apartment or whatever, and have the Martha and Lois conversation happen naturally instead of just having him morph into Martha. But that's my other nitpick about that. But other than that, loved it. I loved it. It was great. Oh my gosh. Oh,
Very happy for you.
I'm so happy. I loved it. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so so we went through all the characters, I guess. So yeah, but just overall, just like the action sequences were so much better, because Zack, his slow motions are back, and just how he directs all of the action sequences is just so cool. Whenever Flash goes into slow motion, like when he's saving Iris, that was so great, and even the whole ending fight was so much better. There was so much more to it. It's just, I'm just so great. Like,
And the fate of Steppenwolf changed.
Oh yeah, instead of
when
just the
the
stupid, the parademons smelling fear, and then it's like Steppenwolf gets afraid because his axe got destroyed, and all the parademons eating at him, and they go into the portal, and then that's
Then he
it.
gets beheaded.
Yes, but no, he gets stabbed in the stomach by Aquaman and his trident, and then Superman super punches him through the portal, and then Wonder Woman beheads him.
It's a real group effort there.
Yep.
It's nice.
Teamwork. Oh my god, they felt more like a team in this movie. Like,
I
They did for
always
sure.
hated that that ending in the theatrical one where he just kind of runs away.
like, oh my god, he just looks so wimpy and just,
Yeah, that was
like, oh my god, like, just so much better. It's like he actually put up a fight and stuff like that. It's like, I like Superman, like, when he gets his introduction to the fight, when
when he's swinging the axe.
and then
Body.
Superman just stops with his body like, nutter press. And then Super Breath comes in. Like,
Yeah.
why would you cut any of that out? Like, this
It's
is
so
so great. It's so cool.
And doesn't he use the laser eyes too?
Mhm.
Yes, he uses the laser eyes and like lasers off one of Steppenwolf's horns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, so much cooler. So much
So
cooler.
it actually felt like a victory, you know,
Mhm.
because they were actually able to defeat him.
Yeah,
Instead of it just being this, oh, I'm going away now.
right. And then speaking of that, like, even added stuff in other things, like the fight on Heroes Park with Superman versus the League. Like, there's even more to that. The military was involved in that as well, and you see the League having more to do in that. Like, it just added stuff here and there that just makes the fights cooler. And then also with the Mother Box, they didn't just, because they left the Mother Box alone at Star Labs, and they didn't just be like, oh, Steppenwolf got it. Oh, we were paying attention.
Oh,
That
no, we were
was
doing
so
this other
stupid.
thing. Now
Oh,
he has it.
So dumb. And then they actually explain that too. That Silas Stone gets the Mother Box, and he tries to. At first, we think he's trying to destroy it, but he's actually trying to, mark it so the League will be able to find Steppenwolf and everyone. He sacrifices himself. Yeah, Silas Stone dies in this movie.
That was really sad.
That
I
was
was
really
sad.
not expecting that to happen.
Right. It's because he stays alive in the theatrical. So
Victor.
yeah.
So much more reason
I
for
did not know.
angst.
Yep. Angst and
Yeah, poor
sadness.
Victor. Like, come on, you had to lose your dad too.
Like, yeah,
Oh.
I definitely
Poor
get why he's
kid.
depressed in this. Like, I don't want him to be all happy, be like, booyah, like in the Teen Titans show. No, I don't want that.
Cyborg and Teen Titans.
I do too, but it's like, I don't want this Cyborg to be like that. He's not
Yeah.
there yet.
He needs to be edgy.
Yeah, that was so stupid with the Heroes Park.
Yeah.
With Steppenwolf like, oop, I duped you. I got it.
Got you when you weren't looking.
Oh my God.
That was so dumb.
Oh, man.
So stupid. Like, yeah, just like, the scenes just felt.
No, like he went in there and he
Uh-huh.
was trying to break the fucking door down to
Right.
get to Silas. Like
You're
that
right.
was like that was an intense sequence. It's like, holy shit,
This is so
what's he
cool.
gonna do?
Loved it. Yeah, just so great. Just more substance to this movie. Stuff didn't just feel like a convenience and stuff. Or we gotta quicken this up because we only have 2 hours and we gotta get to the next
take out all the
thing.
Just
good
gotta give it
parts.
to
Go,
him.
go, go.
Literally give him the box. Let's go.
Like, oh my God.
Come on, we're on a deadline.
So bad. Even like just added character moments with the League that you cut out when they all, meet back at the Batcave after they lost at Heroes Park and whatever. Like Alfred just, reacting to all the Leaguers, whatever, all the just team bonding. Actually feel them more, they actually feel more like a family, a team. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. Because you added more of the character moments, just like all this stuff. I know you gotta chop things up for the runtime, but just like, come on, y'all. This is just ridiculous. And just even added stuff with the action sequences, as I said. Just make it more cool, more impactful, more substance. Just like, so great. Just so good. But yeah, the last thing I want to talk about is the epilogue. The epilogue. Like, and this is one of the things that, I hear a lot of people, they're kind of split on, surprisingly, the epilogue. Like, a lot of people say, like, this is the part where it's like, this didn't need to be there. Which is the whole ending with Lex Luthor meeting up with Deathstroke, which is completely different now. Well, different dialogue now, because in the theatrical they're setting up Injustice League or the Legion of Doom, which is fine, whatever. But in this one, he was actually setting up for the Batman movie that we didn't get with Ben Affleck, when Lex Luthor tells Deathstroke that Batman is Bruce Wayne. So that was supposed to set up Batman versus Deathstroke, played by Joe Manganiello. I I like Joe Manganiello
Oh,
as
he
Deathstroke.
looks so good. His design is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, he is Deathstroke.
Yeah.
I want to see more of him. And yeah, that was kind of sad, like, because that was one of the original, that was from the principal photography. So
Yeah.
at that point, it was still the DCEU Batman movie directed and starring Ben Affleck with Deathstroke in it. So they were setting that up. But now, watching it, it's like, oh, that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. It's like, why? Why'd you do this? So, it's whatever, I guess. I mean,
It's not this movie's fault. It's
Yeah.
just, like, retroactively, it kind of sucks.
right. I mean, it is cool that they want to set up Legion of Doom, because I do want to see that at some point. But it's just like, it just sucks that they have to, get rid of Ben Affleck's movie. But then we get to the nightmare stuff, which I'm glad they addressed the nightmare sequence, because there was nothing in the 2017 version. Like, they pretended it didn't even happen, which really pissed me off. And, like, a lot of people were confused about it, and we expected in this movie that there was going to be some payoff with it. Slightly, there was. They address it, and they do. So
I felt like they explained it more. They actually explained what was going on with Flash coming back to Bruce in BBS, because that didn't really fully make sense to me until you and Cree explained it to me. But then watching this, they gave more context to it. We're now seeing them in this, like, hypothetical future that could happen,
right.
and why Flash was trying to warn him. So I love that Zack was able to go back and expand that some more. So I love that epilogue.
And there's even some visions, like, explaining what causes the nightmare stuff, because apparently, Batman is responsible for Darkseid killing Lois, and that's what causes Superman to, turn evil and surrender to the anti-life equation that Darkseid has, and then he becomes a servant of Darkseid, and then scorches the Earth, and it becomes and the Earth becomes Apocalypse. And so we got some visions here and there, because Cyborg got visions from, I think when they're about to resurrect Superman, they get visions of that as well. And then this epilogue in the nightmare sequence, like, I like that they added that,
And that was what they did for the second round of reshoots for the
Oh yeah. This is the added photography that Zack
the added
did.
photography that they just did in October.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so in the nightmare, the only leaguers that are left is Batman, Flash, and Cyborg, and Mira still alive. And then they're teaming up with Deathstroke and the Joker.
Yes. I love
We
that.
got some good Jokers.
That was a good group. I'm
Yes.
glad they were all there.
Oh my god, yeah, it's so interesting. It's so cool. They have to team up with the villains in this to make everything right. It's just so
They're desperate. They need who's ever help they can get.
yeah, it's some Injustice stuff right here. Like, I really liked it. One thing I will nitpick about, because right before this scene, we get the whole setup with Lex and Deathstroke, which setting up, they're going to be enemies. So for this to come right after that, it kind of messed with my emotions a little bit, because, like, okay, they're going to find out that at some point they're going to team up. So it just, like, what happens before that point that I'm interested in, I don't know if we're ever going to get it, because Warner Bros. Is stupid. I don't know if we're gonna get. But, like, it's just really strange that, they set up this whole Deathstroke's gonna be the new enemy of Batman, but then the next scene it's like, at some point they're gonna work together. So I feel like maybe they should have placed that scene farther away from that, so I won't feel like there's just a whiplash of, motivations changing, like, what's going on here?
Yeah, that is kind of weird now that you're mentioning it. I wasn't really thinking about it.
Like, this really felt like Lord of the Rings a lot. Like, especially the Return of the King, because they had like 10 different endings for that one. That's what this felt like. There's a whole bunch of endings and setting up for 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like just a lot of things. They're like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen as well. This is going to happen as well. So it's like, even though there's a resolution, it's not like there's no ending to this movie. They solved the conflict in the film, but they're setting up a lot for the future movies and all that other stuff, so it just felt kind of strange. But other than that epilogue is one of my favorite parts of the movie. As I said, I loved it. Like, especially Jared Leto's Joker. people shat on him in Suicide Squad, which I kind of understand because me and Shay rewatched Suicide Squad because she hasn't seen it before, and like rewatching it, yeah, I'm still not a big fan of Suicide Squad. I'm not. There's some cool things in it, and I like most of the characters, but it's just structurally and editing wise, it was just a mess to me. And Jared Leto's Joker, I'm one of the Jared Leto Joker defenders. I did like him in that, but even then, I felt like he was directionless in that movie. It didn't feel like they didn't know what to do with them. Yeah. So it's like I don't know. It just didn't feel like as focused as it could have been. But with Zack giving Jared Leto direction in this movie, he felt more focused. He felt more sinister, and you actually see the actual the turmoil and buildup that's been happening over the 20 years of Batman fighting crime. All of that was just culminated in that conversation that he has with Batman. I even though I only watched this like 2.5 times, the whole movie, that scene I would just rewind over and over and over again because I was just glued into their conversation. Even though it wasn't that long, it was just so good because it's just so interesting. Even though we don't see the in-betweens of what happened in the 20 years of Gotham between Batman and Joker, like you can just feel the weight of all the stuff that happened in between them. Like you feel like they went through some shit together, and it's like just that whole conversation, just like I just loved it, because I didn't even think we would have a scene with Jared Leto and Ben Affleck together.
I'm so glad we got it.
Yeah.
And if anyone tries to talk crap about Jared Leto's Joker, just be like, have you seen Zack Snyder's Justice League?
Yeah, like I'm sorry, like I don't see anything wrong with his performance in this.
Nothing. And I also liked him in Suicide Squad. Yeah, it's not the best movie, and they didn't really give him anything to do, but I still liked his Joker. So I've always not understood the people who've been hating on him, because I'm all for his Joker. I don't know what that fake Joaquin Phoenix Joker is, but that's not the fucking Joker.
Yeah, I'm still not a fan of that movie, and I'm not. But yeah, just like
Jared Leto's a new Joker.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I really like his Joker, and I want to see more from him. Like this sold me. This felt more in line with Ben Affleck's Batman. Just actually giving him proper direction and making him not taking away some of his tics and his weird manners, like the hunka hunka or the weird breathing. Like no, he toned that down a lot, and it felt. He harnessed a little bit of Heath Ledger here and there. Like I felt that a little bit, but it felt like his own. Like he wasn't completely trying to copy Heath Ledger. And for people to say no, he looks like Marilyn Manson and blah 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 blah. Like, have you seen Heath Ledger's face? He looks like a heroin addict who tried to put on makeup with his eyes closed. Like
Yeah, actually, that's not even a legitimate complaint, because they all look different. This is the fucking apocalypse sequence.
They all look messed up.
Yeah, Deathstroke looks weird. Flash looks weird. He's
even though his suit looks awesome.
Looking.
But yeah, he has the 5 o'clock shadow and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like, of course he looks weird.
Yeah,
we're in the middle of a shitstorm right now.
Yeah, I love his costume, man. It's like he has the SWAT vest with the badges and stuff like that, and I like that his face is all bloody and stuff like that. Like the removing the tattoos didn't bother me as much. I didn't really care. It's whatever. You don't have tattoos in this one, it's fine. But yeah, it's a little bit of an inconsistency there.
Yeah, maybe he got them removed.
But I don't need this.
You never know.
Damage. I know I'm damaged. I don't need that anymore. But yeah, just even like the subtle hints of, because he killed Robin, and him taunting him on about, even like the whole thing with the truce with the cards. Like, if you keep this card, we'll have a truce, because you need me to help you undo this world you created by letting her die. Like, whew. But you can always rip it in half, and I'm happy to discuss with you in any way you like why you sent a boy wonder to do a man's job. Chills! I want to see it! I want to see what happened to Robin. What did he do? I want to see it. And then that whole line of Batman saying, "It's funny you talk about how many people died in my arms, because when I held Harley Quinn and she was bleeding and dying." I'm like, when did that happen? I want to see that.
That's another thing that we missed.
She begged me. Then when I killed you, And make no mistake, I will fucking kill you. Yes, slowly. Yes! Kill that clown! Like, kill him! Like, this whole rivalry you had over the 20 years, and even talking about, us seeing Batman and Joker in a whole bunch of media. Yes! Ice this dude! You need to kill him! Like,
that was like a shocking part too. It's like, oh shit, Harley's dead.
Harley's dead, and she was in Batman's arms when it happened. Like, I don't know if we're gonna see that in the Suicide Squad, or if.
Oh no, they're not. They're not gonna kill her off that early because they gotta use Margot still for other stuff.
I don't know. They gave James Gunn the free reins to kill whoever he wants. So
I don't know. I feel like that probably happened when all the shit was hitting the fan.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, I'd want to see that too. Oh my god, give me the Ben Affleck standalone one. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, bring Ben back.
Oh.
Hashtag bring Batfleck back.
Bring Batfleck back. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. But yeah, man. I love it. I have a feeling when we talk about, when we have the other people on the panelists who aren't as big as DC fans, I think I can defend that epilogue scene, so I'm ready for it.
Yeah. You defend that scene.
I will defend it, but yeah, man, but it's surprising, even critics that didn't like Man of Steel and didn't like Batman v Superman watched this and was like, you know what, this is pretty good. I liked it. So I'm like, Warner Brothers, you're an idiot if you don't want to continue this. Do you like money? Do you want money? You need to continue this.
Also, that would be fantastic if they released Zack Snyder's Justice League on Blu-ray, because I will buy it day one.
I think it's going to be released. I think they confirmed.
Especially with a documentary covering Zack's journey, recutting and finishing the movie.
Yeah.
To see all the work he had to do during this process to finish it.
Yep.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think that's going to be on there too. I think that's also on HBO Max if you want to watch it. I think they have a documentary on there.
Do they?
Yeah. Or you can watch it online because I saw a behind the scenes documentary thing on there. So I'm like, okay. So if you want to watch that, watch it. I think it's going to be really interesting. I haven't watched it yet. But yeah. Restore the Snyderverse. And what do I mean by that? I would like to see Justice League 2, Justice League 3, a Ben Affleck standalone, Cyborg movie, Green Lantern, and Man of Steel 2. Then I'll be happy. Oh, the Ayer cut as well. The Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. I want to see that as well. That's when will be the perfect square. Right there. That's what I would like.
Yeah, I'm with Dwayne. I mean, minus the Ayer cut, I could go with or without.
Oh, you actually don't want to see the Ayer cut?
Yeah, with or without it.
I mean, yeah.
But the other stuff for sure, yes.
Yeah. Because I am excited for James Gunn's Suicide Squad, so I want to see that still. But yeah, I do want to know David Ayer's actual intent with the movie, because I know that was edited to hell. So if we don't get it, I guess fine. But I'm still curious to see it. But yeah, restore the Snyderverse. I want to see it. I just want to see it. I love it. This movie's so great. People like this movie. And I'm sure a bunch of people have already watched it a bunch of times. So it's getting some views on your streaming service. So it'd be crazy for you not to continue this. But yeah, overall, there's probably some stuff we missed, which I'm sure I'm going to cover in part 2 if we missed some stuff, so don't worry. But yeah, so overall,
talk about the Sesame Seed.
Oh, okay. You want to talk about the Sesame Seed?
Sure.
Go ahead and talk about it. You want to talk about it since it's on your mind. You want to talk about it? I guess, okay, so one thing, if there's some other nitpicks about this, even though I really enjoyed this movie, and I'm glad I saw all 4 hours of it, I say this is a great 4-hour film. It could have been a perfect 3 hours, maybe 3.5 hours. Because, even though I appreciate seeing everything in this version, there's some things you could have cut. There's some slow motion shots, even though Zack loves his slow motion. There's so much slow motion in this. And there's even a couple of scenes even I noticed that's this didn't really need to be in slow motion. You could have sped this up a little bit more. Or there's some weird scenes, like the Sesame scene in slow motion. Like, why did...
Nasty truck floor.
Yeah, like, why did we didn't... That wasn't necessary. Oh, and one other thing. When Bruce Wayne is trying to recruit Aquaman and he goes into the sea, and then you have those girls singing that weird song or whatever when he leaves, and then one of the girls is picking up his shirt that he leaves when he goes into the ocean, then she smells it, and then they're singing. I'm like, why is this here? Like, this is so weird. Like, the whole time it's like, and it goes on for a while, where it's like, I'm really watching and I'm like, okay, cut now, okay, you can cut that now. Why is the scene still going? This is so weird. Okay, she picked up the sweater. Okay, she's still on it. That's kind of strange. Okay, well, like, scenes like that didn't need to be there. It reminded me of the Watchmen Ultimate Cut, because I feel like the director's cut is the perfect length. But, like, the Ultimate Cut, they added that, you know, the stuff with the freighter and whatever, with the animated stuff. Like, I'm glad I saw it, but I don't need to watch it in order to enjoy the full experience. Or even Lord of the Rings, the extended cuts of those, even though I'm glad I saw the extended cuts of those, I don't feel the need to watch the extended cuts again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I don't want. I'm a Middle Earth purist in that way, so it's the extended cuts or nothing.
Well, all right, we'll talk about that when we do the Lord of the Rings
if
reviews.
you're gonna watch the movie, watch the whole fucking
Yeah, you gotta watch the whole thing.
Okay.
We're not leaving anything
oh
out.
My God.
Tolkien described trees for 50 pages. We're gonna watch.
Oh my
everything.
No! I don't want to watch Treebeard trying to talk for 30 minutes.
Yeah, you know they
on
extended
one
that
second.
shit. You know they.
On one sentence.
Hey, that's his best friend. You know Treebeard's based on his best friend, right?
That's fine, but I don't need to take 20 minutes for him to say,
Seriously.
I know tree. Okay, all right, we get it. You're not a tree. All right, fine. You're an it. Whatever. We'll talk about that when we eventually will do the Lord of the Rings reviews. But I'm sorry, I don't feel the need to watch the extended cuts ever again. You gonna make me sick?
We're gonna do it.
I have them.
We're gonna make it.
And you make me watch the extended Hobbit cut garbage.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why are you defending? Oh my gosh, fine. But that's how I feel. Like, there's certain scenes they could have cut. Like, I mean, yeah, it builds atmosphere, but it's like, it wasn't necessary. It's just certain scenes like that they could have trimmed it down. It would have been a really tight 3.5, maybe 3 hours. It would have been great. I don't see how they could release this 4 hours in theaters. It can happen, but I don't know economically if that would be possible. I mean, they did say there could be an intermission in between, because they did that with the Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino's movie, so it's possible. But as far as them wanting to get the box office they want to and get enough show times, I see why that's an issue. So that's where I'm like, you could trim it down just a little bit and maybe you can meet those things. But that's how I feel. But anyway, I'm glad I saw all the 4 hours. So anything you guys want to include before we close this out?
Just don't watch the theatrical cut of Justice League.
Don't ever watch that
this one
again.
instead.
If you, I'm gonna light my. I have the theatrical on Blu-ray, and I'm so close to taking that, putting some gas fluid on there and lighting it on fire. Like,
Just do it outside.
yeah, of course I'll do it outside. Or taking a sledgehammer and just smashing it into bits, because I don't want to watch that ever again. Unless you guys want to do a commentary and I can tear it apart scene by scene, which I might consider doing, but even then,
And then you end with burning it.
But yeah, I don't want to watch this ever again. I don't even want to acknowledge its existence. It's garbage, it's trash. The 2017 one should have never came out. If this came out, even though if they probably have to trim it down to 2 hours and 45 minutes, 3 hours, whatever, still would have been 10 times better than what you released. And I think you would have, even with them trying to be like, we Justice League should make $1 billion or something like that, I think this could have made $1 billion. Or it would have made more than Batman v Superman for sure. But I could see this making $1 billion. Like
they could have released this as a 3 hour cut in theaters, and then have our director's cut on HBO Max be what we just got, the 4 hours.
Yeah, ultimate
Like,
cut.
you totally could have done it like that.
But no, it's like, oh, we're adamant on doing a 2-hour thing because, the executives got to have their bonuses and blah, 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 and we don't care about Zack's vision and we want to go somewhere else. I'm like,
Instead, you gave
still-
us a piece of shit and then a masterpiece. So. But at least we got the masterpiece.
At least we
So
got
you
that.
can't complain too much
Right.
in the long run.
Yeah. So, overall, really enjoyed this movie. Loved it. This is the Justice League movie I've been waiting for years. This is a great movie. I'm ready to say this is one of my favorite comic book movies. I think I'm ready to say that. Am I ready to say this is my favorite of the DCEU? I don't know. I have to watch it a couple more times. But, it's definitely up there for sure. And another hot take for you guys. This is better than Avengers 1. This is better than Avengers 2. And it's knocking on the door of Endgame and Infinity War. It's that good to me. And I know those Marvel fans are going to be like, no, Marvel, no, those are better. They drew it out more, they were built up better, blah, blah. Nope. This is better than Avengers 1. This is better than Age of Ultron. And I'll say it's just as good as Infinity War and Endgame, in my opinion.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely better than the first two Avengers. As for Infinity War and Endgame, I don't know because I love both of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I love them for different reasons than Justice League.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard for me to put one on top of the other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I can confidently say that they're all up there as like high tier superhero epics.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I just really enjoyed it. The characters are more fleshed out. Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman are more fleshed out. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are much better in this version. I love all the world building. I love all the setup for the future films. As much as I want for them to happen, I'm not expecting them to happen as long as Warner Brothers is still running the ship or whatever. So I'm not going to get my hopes up too much, even though I want it to happen so bad. But, I just love all the setup that they did, all the world building, Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, Darkseid, Steppenwolf, all that was just so great. Loved it. Cinematography was better, the action was better, the dialogue was better, the music was better. Everything was better. This is what you should have done. This is what you should have released in 2017. Warner Brothers, I hope you live with this. You live with this failure for the rest of your life, and you better restore the Snyder'S. If you want any chance of success, if you want to do this multiverse stuff, you want to go off and do your own little things with the other DC movies, you want to go off in your own direction, that's fine. Because I'm still looking forward to Suicide Squad. I'm still gonna watch the Batman. I'm still gonna watch Aquaman 2, Wonder Woman 3, all this stuff, Shazam 2. I'm still excited for that stuff. Black Adam. But we should have the Snyderverse as well. Since you're having the CW stuff as well, you can do the Snyderverse on HBO Max. I want to see more, because this movie was so great. Even the haters are coming around and saying, this is good, or this is an improvement. So, don't just let this sit. Don't just let this be a trilogy. Don't just let it just stand there and be like, that's it. We're not going to do anything. That would be the biggest mistake you will ever make. More than just being like, the Snyder Cut didn't exist. But yeah, overall, man, what do I want to give this movie? I'm going to give it I might change my score in part 2. Because I got to watch it more times. But overall, I'm going to give Zack Snyder's Justice League gets an A. Or an A-. That's what it deserves. Oh my god, it's just so great. I enjoy it so much.
I'll give it an A too.
Yes!
Yes, it definitely gets an A. And I just really hope for the other studios out there who are watching all of this go on, I hope this teaches the other studios a lesson that you shouldn't interfere with the artistic vision of the filmmakers.
Mm-hmm.
Because more often than not, you're going to get what happened with Justice League, which is an inferior product.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that the fans don't really want. So I hope this is a teachable moment for the studios to stop interfering with production of movies.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, all right, Kree's back, right on time with our closing thoughts. So, anything else you want to talk about before we close it out, and you want to give your general grade or whatever?
I just need a second one.
We need a second one, and we need a third one.
And a fourth one. Turn it into Lord of the Rings.
Yep. Hashtag restore the Snyder'S.
What did everybody else grade?
A.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm like A minus. Kind of.
Well,
Because, like, there's some things here and there. It's like, you could trim stuff down here and there. Even though I'm glad I saw all of his 4 hours, like, it could have been a sleek, like, 3 hours, 3.5 hours.
I love
Yeah.
long movies.
Oh, you're the
You want it
opposite.
longer?
I love
I want
long
it
movies.
longer.
Yeah. So I'm not going to complain
Yeah.
about the length.
I think that there were definitely things they could have expanded on a little more, spent more time on, instead of doing like the back and forth banter that you get sometimes in the movie. You could have added on like more Martian Manhunter scenes
That's true.
and give me more Martian Manhunter
More Green Lantern, too.
and more Martian Manhunter
Mm. More Martian
and
Manhunter.
more Martian Manhunter. Yeah. But no, I don't really have much to say. I want to watch it again. And again. And again.
And
again. I give it an A. I was going to give it an A+, but thinking it over a little bit, there were some things that I would tweak. Some of the lighting wasn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing with I like the I like the color in this one way more than the Joss's version, but like there's some scenes where it's just lit really dark.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, like, Steppenwolf looked great. Dark Side, I fell off the couch, so I guess that means I liked it.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
Dark Side looked great.
Yeah.
Been waiting.
Desaad, Granny Goodness.
Yeah. I've been waiting my entire life for a Justice League movie, like a live action one.
Mhm.
I've seen all of the animated DC movies. I've seen all of the animated DC shows. Read hundreds of comic books, literally hundreds.
Mhm.
And I just wanted a live action Justice League movie.
Right.
And what we got with Justice League, I think, Dwayne, if you remember, you and I cried after that movie. We cried a little bit.
I was a bit
It was
of
not good.
yeah. I was what people call phantom menacing. Like
Yeah.
I was like, it's not that bad, right? It's not that bad. It's
It was so bad.
trying to get myself to like it. And I'm like, no, this is garbage.
So, but with Zack Snyder's Justice League, it hit everything I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, again, I want more Russian,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just because I love him so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I that's all I really have to say is it looked phenomenal. It looked phenomenal. It was what I wanted it to be, and I give it an A.
Sweet. Oh,
Almost an A+. It's like
almost.
It's like a 98%.
There you go. Like a 90, like a 97.
Yeah, I'm like a 95.
It's like that.
No decimal points. Make a decision.
95.76333333. Anyway, that's our thoughts on Snyder Cut. I'm sure that there's a bunch of details where we haven't talked about, but yeah, that's for part 2, which we will get into more details about it, because I know there's so much to talk about. It's like we can't fit it in one podcast. But yeah, that's our truncated thoughts on the Snyder Cut. I'm sure we'll be talking more about it in the future. But what did you guys think about the Snyder Cut? Did you love it? Did you love it? Or did you love it? Comment below and let us know. But let's be honest, like there's some of you that probably didn't enjoy it as much. Like let us know if you thought it was
If you
okay.
hate it, don't comment.
Or were
Nobody
you,
needs that negativity.
are there any people out there who just couldn't handle the runtime? Like, oh, it's too
It's
long.
too long.
I think people are saying that.
I didn't
but-
even take a pee break.
Oh, you
I
guys
need to
are
get
pussies.
over it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Or people that say, this movie's this good. I like this movie, but I don't want to see anymore.
I guess. I mean,
What?
if they say that, I guess they're just not big DC fans. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. But
Right. Alright, yeah, comment below your thoughts. And do you guys want the Snyder'S to be restored? Do you want to see more? Comment below your thoughts on that as well. Oh, so yeah, so there's gonna be a part 2 spoiler discussion with a new panel, and the cat and their cat is like right by my head. But anyway, so yeah, it's going to be a part 2 spoiler discussion. There's going to be new panelists on there, so you're going to get fresh takes on there. So tune in for that when it comes out. And I guess the next DC thing we'll talk about is what's the next thing that comes out? Is it The Suicide Squad?
Yes.
All right, The Suicide Squad is coming out. So we're going to, I want to see that, so we're going to have a review for that as well. Are you guys going to watch the Justice is Gray version of the Snyder Cut, which is the black and white version?
I would like to.
I'll watch it once for the novelty of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think after that it's not going to be the version I go to.
Yeah, I heard there might be some added scenes in the Justice is Gray version, because Zack said that's the definitive version of the Snyder Cut. So I was like, I want to see it for that, and just see how he incorporates black and white into that.
I
You
hope
know.
he doesn't change it. I hope it just stays the same.
Oh, he's not going to change it. He's always going to have the colored one for us to watch, but it's like he's just going to have the black and white version out there so for people to see as well. So, anyway,
Yeah.
I might do my thoughts on that whenever that comes out as well, because I want to see what he does with it. That's their dog in the background too, if you're hearing that.
Yeah,
He's
sorry.
throwing his own toy for
He just
himself.
really wants attention.
Right. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to be notified on future videos I'll be doing. But that's all we have for you DC fans and Snyder fans, and we will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later. Restore the Snyderverse!
Restore the Snyderverse!